Nigeria's political and economic landscape suggests a nation on a flux, with rising costs and new taxes on the horizon. How are the politicians shaping the narrative to assuage the people? Or will the people assuage themselves this time? With the major political parties, APC, PDP, Labour Party, and ADC all struggling for frontline relevance, build up to the 2027 general elections, will politics, as usual, overshadow governance? This is the Eastern Eye. I am Alex Obodo. Welcome to the Eastern Eye, a program that X-rays the political, social, and economic developments around us. Joining me tonight is Dr. Dele Maxwell Uwai. He is a social commentator. Thank you so much, Dr. Uwai, for joining me tonight on the Eastern Eye.
Good evening, Alex. How are you?
I'm fine, as you can see. Nigeria seems to be, someone says, a gift that keeps giving in terms of talking points, in terms of what. Well, you never know what you'll be discussing next week until it happens and it starts trending. So first of all, let's talk about what is happening within the political space. It looks like since the ADC came on board, the narrative has changed a bit. They seem to have taken over the pressure that we used to see from the PDP and Labour Party. The ADC now owns it. They are the ones talking tougher than everybody. Is it something that is expected?
Well, if you notice from 1999 to date, as we approach any election year, there will always be this kind of situation. A party will emerge. Remember, ahead of 2023 election, Gani Fawehinmi took federal government to court. Challenged the Nigerian constitution about took INEC to court, challenging the fact that INEC does not have power to stop the registration of political parties, and he won that landmark judgment, and that opened the floodgates for multi-party system. So ahead of every election, I remember in Ado Ekiti that time, Ondo State, Gani Fawehinmi was the presidential candidate of NCP and so many other parties. Ahead of 2007 election, AC came on board again. Ahead of 2011 election, CPC came barely 1 year to the end to 2011 election, and the Buhari-led CPC caused major. He proved some bookmakers wrong with his achievement, with attendant crisis that 2011 election witnessed. Ahead of 2015 again, we heard of APC and APC now, and ahead of 2019 election, PDP seem to have resurrected They tried to make sure that the incident between 2015, when they lost election, to 2019, they put it behind them, and they made serious impact. Ahead of 2023 election, you and I know the emergence of Labour Party from nowhere, and it shaped the political calculation of 2023. By 2022, let's say February, March, April 2022, it was still between PDP and APC until June, July, August. Then it now became a three-way race. Before you know it, Kwankwaso joined again. So it has always been like that. So I wouldn't see ADC as a new thing that we are experiencing. It has always been people that are not, politicians that are disenchanted with a ruling party or opposition party. They gather themselves together and say, let us try let us try our luck in this dispensation. So I don't see anything very serious or very novel with what is happening in the ADC. The chairman of ADC is a David Mark. The man has always been with us. Remember, GSM is not for poor people. As far as when I was just going to secondary school, David Mark was already Minister of Communication. Then 1993 election, he played a significant role. Then, you remember Abacha declared him number one enemy. He declared wanted, David Mark. Then between 1999 to 2023, if I'm not mistaken, David Mark was a senator. He was a Senate president 8 years straight. So I wouldn't know what he wants to tell me personally or any other Nigeria that maybe there are still fresh idea that he wants me to gravitate toward what he's telling me. Then look at Aregbesola, the secretary of ADC, for example, ADC. He was a commissioner for for infrastructure works in Lagos State for 8 straight years. From there, I remember they created this Omalu Abi movement in Osun State. He picked the AC ticket in Osun State. He was defeated by Ogunlola. They went to court. They spent over 3 years in court, and the court awarded him the governorship seat. And I don't think he has anything to tell to people that this was a man that was known as half salary. The Osun people had a very hectic time with him. Yes, if you have been to that area, you see, he built a bogan that will fly over from bogan that crosses on Ibadan Ife Expressway. Then he had so many abandoned projects, and it was because of the anger against him that his party APC was nearly defeated in 2018. If not for the they were going to rerun. If not for last minute pact with Omishori. Remember, Omishori was almost poised to succeed Ilola before court awarded him the judgment at Ilorin appeal court. That's when the appeal court was federal appeal court was still at Ilorin. So what is Ilola coming to say? He was a minister for interior for 4 straight years, and they asked people now make jest of him that is the only thing he knew about being is a declaration of public holidays. Public holiday. They always, but this young man is not up to 40 years. He has transformed the whole thing. I was in Mauritala Mohammed Airport a couple of days ago, and you see, when I'm moving out of the country, you see the innovation. You see a lot of things that are happened for immigration, from passports, for a lot of things. So what is Aregbesola going to tell us? Then Bolaji Abdullahi was a minister for sports in this country. He should tell us, when I was a minister of sports, this is what I did. He has been a PA to Olushola Saraki. I serve in Kwara State. I know all of them. So what I'm saying that if we are talking of a new Nigeria, we begin to say, yes, what is new here? Then we talk of Rotimi Amechi. It was between 1999 to 2023 or 2022 when he resigned from federal cabinet to contest for presidential ticket of his party. He was 8 straight years. Even ahead of that, he was a PA to Rufusada George. Then 1999, he became a speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly. 8 straight years that lasted till 2007. From 2007, November 2007, remember KLEG, his nomination has a KLEG, the statement by Obasanjo. So along the line, Supreme Court validated his ticket of PD. That's when the Supreme Court ruled that own party is the owner of the ticket, not the individual. And on that, based on that judgment, Rotimi Amechi was sworn in, even without contesting an election, which is a novel landmark judgment in Nigeria at that time. So 8 straight years again as a governor, then 7 straight years again as a minister of transportation. But you become angry that 2 years after you are not in power, then the person in power should vacate it. You now begin to see the things that are wrong, why it's not working. If it's not working, is it you that didn't make it to work, or me? You have been there from state level. You have been in the parliament, the head of the parliament in Rivers State. They should point to a landmark law made that is improving the quality of life of average river people. I would say it was during Rotimi Amechi-led House of Assembly. Or remember, the same roadman made lock up judiciary. Remember his matter with Matthew Umbu, who was the commissioner for any weekend. So these people should not be telling us something new. We have I can go on. So they shouldn't tell us. They are something. I believe if you are telling me that you are bringing a change, because you can't solve a problem you are central part of. All of them, they are centrally part of the problem they tend to solve. And to me, they can't solve the problem. So they are just deceiving us. It's a rhetoric, it's a normal rhetoric when election is approaching. We have not even seen anyone else. Ahead of, before we get to December now, you will see a lot of all these politicians cropping up. And they will still fight among themselves, and there will still be a split away from there.
Yeah, I mean, we will bounce back to politics again, but let's go to something that's happening about taxes within this. The 5% fuel surcharge is one of the things that supposed to take effect by January of 2026. But it's sparking some form of anxiety and, talking points. Some people think it will cause inflation. Trade Union Congress are threatening nationwide strike. And even some of the political parties, ADC, PDP, they are speaking up against that 5% petroleum tax. What do you think about it, really? Because if you are saying that you have removed fuel subsidy in order to use the money to build infrastructure, so why hasn't the monies for the subsidy accrued for the infrastructure? Why do you need 5% fuel tax?
I'm not speaking for government now, but you and I know that this fuel tax is not new. It has been there. As a matter of Obasanjo, the law was enacted during Obasanjo time, but it was not implemented. It's not a new. It's not because it came immediately. Obasanjo demolished toll gates. Proceed from toll gates. Because we like to Nigerians like to be moved by emotion. There was a toll gate across federal roads. If you are moving from here to Onitsha, as a commuter, you pay toll gate 2 times. The one at 90 mile, then the one at after Okuzu. And if you are going to Asaba, that's 3 times. So immediately Obasanjo collapsed that toll gate. That's when this fuel tax was supposed to replace because it's meant for transportation, maintenance of transportation infrastructure. But they didn't implement it it remained like that. So now when they are building a new tax structure, tax system, it came in. And I listened to Oyedele now, the tax man.
Yes.
He said it's not as if it's going to start in January. That the Minister of Finance, maybe that may be a rhetoric, government has a way of diverting our attention. I'm not speaking for him now, but based on what I heard from him, he said only the Minister of Finance will determine the takeoff date, the date the implementation will begin. That means 5%. You buy fuel of 1,000, for example, you are expected to pay, I think, 50 naira. I mean, it's 50 naira. Is it 50 naira? What is 5% of 1,000? 100 naira is that's 50 naira. So that's it. So what I'm saying is that the idea that fuel subsidy is supposed to come, let's say some states, their federal allocation has doubled. Some has tripled. States have more monies now. They have more money, excess money. That's the proceed from the crude oil. What we should be asking, what are our governors doing with the increase in federal allocation? It used to be 700 billion. It used to be 600 billion. It used to be 500 billion being shared by all the 3 tiers of government. It was at 2023. But today, they share 2 trillion. I think 2 point something trillion. That means from 700 to 2 trillion. It has tripled. Then what are they doing with it? The money didn't fall from heaven. What are the governors doing with it, with this money? Because it should have provoked serious infrastructure development, social support. Because why Nigerians are so in this kind of situations, because no, there's nothing like social support anywhere. You don't have medical support. You can't be. You get a tax from somebody, a keke rider, for example. But keke rider is sick. He still need to foot his own medical bill. He still has to pay for rent. He still has to pay transportation. He still has to pay for so many things. So you realize that you are just paying the taxes to further the mess of the political class. They are living large and asking you to tighten your belt. But in terms of money, more money to the government, to local government, to state government, there have been serious increase in money available. No government now will say that they don't have money to do certain projects. If across Nigeria, and incidentally, they are having this project that don't even connect with the average people on the street. They have this esoteric kind of buildings, 5-star this, 10-star this, 7-star this, or this. But what those things, those social support that should connect with the average Nigerian, you see it lacking. If in Enugu here, in every other place, somebody will be saying, I'm building this 10-star hotel. How does that star hotel improve the quality of life for people in Enugu? How do they connect? But this is where the real Nigerians are living. So these are the questions we should be asking. To what extent have you been able to implement, to use this money, more money being made available to you, to improve the quality of life of people? Most of these things we worry ourselves about in Nigeria are on concurrent list. Education is on concurrent list. Works in infrastructure is on concurrent list. Health is on concurrent list. Agriculture is on. So let state leverage on these items and fund these things and make it meaningful, so that the people in this state will live meaningful life. Why is it that states are against the implementation of that Supreme Court that granted full autonomy to local government? Today, it's here to take off. It's here that full autonomy granted.
So is there a particular reason? Is there a reason that someone can put their hands on why that judgment hasn't been implemented?
Because of the politics between the presidency and the state governors. When it came, they said, okay, I'm giving you, this thing happened last year. Then after that judgment, we all celebrated. Before we know it, federal government had a meeting with governors. And they said, okay, we are giving you 2 months. Instead of the implementation beginning immediately, let us give you 2 months allowance so that you can prepare for it. And that 2 months was supposed to be in October last year. As we speak, everybody is quiet. Nobody is. We don't know how local government money. We don't know. Recently we heard that Osun State local government allocation is being withheld by federal government. So a lot of things are not right. So what I'm saying is that it's not about more money being made available or taxes. Nigerians, most countries of the world, they live by taxes. And I tell you, Alex, I've traveled around some time from some of these countries, and I can tell you things are very cheaper in Nigeria compared to other countries. You go to some countries in East Africa, for example, they live by taxes, and so much money available. But you see that the gap between the rich and the poor, very minimal. It's only here that the politicians are corrupt anywhere in the world. But the level of corruption differ. But the Nigerian situation is more precarious, more worrisome, because the gap, we don't have a functional university system in Nigeria. We don't have functional. How many people leave Ghana to Nigeria because of health? They want to come for medical tourism. How many people who leave Ghana are coming from Ghana to Nigeria too? It used to be, I remember then when I was going to see my uncle at UI then, in the early 90s, we were having white people, European, who were lecturers in UI. I don't think, if we go to Enugu here, you go to UI, you hardly see lecturers that are not from Southeast. Not to talk about whether they are across Southeast. What has happened? Go to ESUT. How many of us that are not even from Enugu State? How many lecturers in this that are not? Because the idea of university is to have there must be universe in the university. So these are signs, indices that makes us believe that things are going down. In what area do we attract people into our country? Apart from the come and invest, you ask yourself, what are they investing in? Invest in what? To what a governor will live in the state and move to Europe, spend 3 weeks, 4 weeks to do what? You are going to woo investor. But there's a way you make your environment livable. The investor will even will be the one to come. You don't need to go and woo them. Mind you, ironically, Alice, most of this money the investors are returning to us are the money our people went to keep with in their own bank. And an average politician will take 500 million naira. We go and keep it in a bank in Europe. European will go to that bank and take it as a loan and return to Nigeria that they are coming to invest our money. So that's the irony. If I made our own society livable, remember what happened in India? There was a bond, there was a kind of return your money. There was a system that if you return your money to this financial system, it's secure. Every India and Nigeria repatriate their money to India. So they make money available to Indians, small scale, SME. These are the things that this is a system that drives economy. Go to China. Small cottage industry. These are the things that drive economy. Not even the Dangote refiner of this world, not even the innocent motors of this world. But literally two things. Somebody can have in his backyard be producing this shago you are with, this beautiful shago you are wearing. Before you know it, it's becoming self-reliant. He's feeding his family are feeding on top of it. Then somebody will be the one to produce this cap. Somebody will be the one to even produce the button. You get, because they has got what they call, I can't remember it. This allied product. They say that chain. How do you call it now? Chain product. If you are producing this shago, you will not be the one to manufacture the button. Value chain. Value chain. You will not be the one to manufacture the zip. You have to buy from someone. Before you know it, the economy springs up and everywhere is booming. But in a situation where you even have to import toothpick. When you go to China, you realize that most of this is imported are family, cottage business, cottage industry everywhere. But we don't do that here. What we do is to pack our money, ship our money to Europe, to the West. And those people there will take the money and return to us in form of investment.
All right, we will take a quick break here on the Eastern Eye. When we return, we will continue this conversation with Dr. Dele Maxwell Ugwai. Stay with us. You're welcome back to Afia TV's Eastern Eye. We're reaching you live from Enugu, Southeast Nigeria. My name is Alex Obodo. So let's delve back into politics, just where we started. We have political parties that are much more visible than others. And there's also a few things now happening. If you come back to the Southeast, the Anambra elections will happen in November 8th. But there's been a lot of talking. The politicians are now using, I don't want to use the kind of words they use.
They use Arabic tongues on each other, one another.
The caustic language is boiling over. So, what do you think this will be? Is this just about governorship? Is there something more?
Well, I think they are reducing governance to a very ridiculous level in Anambra State. But when a governor begins to abuse, personal abuse on the opponent, as if the fire Professor Soludo, nobody is qualified to contest with you. And to me, that is a democratic process. Everybody is qualified. What Soludo should be doing now is to tell people the urbanization process ongoing in Anambra State. Because ahead of this election that brought him in, he said he was going to change to transform Anambra from Anambra to Dubai, Taiwan. That after 4 years, that Anambra will have become Dubai and Taiwan. And although I've not entered Dubai before, but I've had a transit flight. And I can tell you that the kind of high-rise building in Dubai. I'm here to see any in Anambra built by Soludo. And I can tell you also that apart from flyover at Ekulobia, I don't think, and some government house, I don't think there's any significant difference from what Soludo want us to believe to what Obiano did. Obiano built 3 flyovers within space of 1 year across Enugu-Onitsha Expressway. He built International Conference Center. This is a magnificent project. And he started and finished and commissioned Chinua Achebe International Airport. That's not a means achievement for Anambra, given their history of travel mobility. So Soludo should not say because he's a professor, the other person doesn't even have a school cert. To me, school cert, I mean, in the real sense of it, what makes Anambra people is not the contribution of educated elite. It's the contribution of that entrepreneurs who didn't have formal education. We go to Anambra today, you see multi-billionaires everywhere without formal education. So those shouldn't begin to use the fact that his opponent didn't have A1 or A2 in school cert as a basis for campaign. To me, it's not what you should be doing. Yes, you are professor. I'm one too, and I can tell you that somebody cannot say because he's a professor, somebody didn't go to school, is worse off. Or somebody, because when you look at the college you has been here for a long time. He has been here for long. It's not somebody you can just say because first class in school is not the same thing as first class in life. You may be a failure in school, but a success in life. They are not the same thing. That's why today we see professors who are still tenants, who are still struggling to pay for flats. They live 3-bedroom flat. So, and you see people who didn't even finish a school, first school living certificate, who are multi-billionaires. They will keep professors waiting to see them for hours. So, what I'm telling you today that education is not yardstick. That you're a professor doesn't mean that it confers automatically on you the leadership quality. They should give us something we want to hear. So we will not go back to, even if it's a NEPA certificate, we are okay with it. They should tell us what have we been able to do, what have we been able to do in education in Anambra State, what have we been able to do in health sector in Anambra State, what have we been able to do in security in Anambra State, what have we been able to do in infrastructure in Anambra State, what have we been able to do in agriculture in agriculture in urban renewal in Anambra State. Has Onitsha changed from Onitsha we used to know? Has Nnewi changed from Nnewi we used to know? Has all the rural areas been connected together? You get it? Because Anambra was becoming a one town state, because you move, especially Anambra Center up to Anambra South, you don't even know when you are exiting a particular village to the other village. So you have to tell Anambra people that you will be able to improve on this. Not that somebody didn't go. This shouldn't be what professor should be telling us. Are you telling me that to what extent is he better? Is administration better than other state governor who have one degree, or who didn't even have the opportunity of having a university degree? To what extent is own administration? Are they coming to learn from him? Because the idea is that they are coming from the social state came here to learn how we are able to transform our education system. Social state came here to see how we'll be able to transform our agricultural system using modern machineries and technology. Social state will be able to come here to look at what I'll be able to do in the area of health system. We will be able to transform it. People from all over the country are coming because I'm a professor. This is what I should be. Not that when somebody is not, didn't have F9, somebody has F9. Therefore, it's not qualified to take. The Constitution says 2 SATs. That's the qualification you need to contest for anything. And that's the words of the irony of this country. You need a degree to become a civil servant, but someone needs a school SAT to become a president. So that's one of the things, some of these things, then you look at them. The best thing for you to do in Nigeria is to look at the problem in Nigeria and let the problem begin to amuse you. You begin to get
But are you expecting a tough contest in Anambra State? Let me break this down. Are you looking forward to gubernatorial debate that will be issue-based? Or do you think it will be a continuation of name-calling? Are you expecting a tough contest? Do you think that the APC will have a good showing? Or you think that the Labour Party might surprise everybody? Or you think that it's Abga's election to lose?
Well, first of all, it's Abga's election to lose. I don't live in Anambra, but it's Abga's election to lose. But in any election cycle, in any election process, you don't say nothing is certain. Nothing is certain. One mistake, everybody may say, but an incumbent the election is for the incumbent to lose. Given the result of the by-election, where they roundly defeated the APC, YPP in the on the Anambra State by-election. Remember too that Obi campaigned for the wife of Justice, the man that may so rest in peace. Obi campaign. At the end of the woman got ADC now, coalition of both Labour Party and this was the fact that Obi campaign for the woman rigorously. She was defeated in all the 8 wards in the Onitsha South constituency. So what I'm saying is that the election is for Abga to lose. It's for Abga to lose. And that's why Soludo can afford to relax. Soludo can afford to be talking something he shouldn't be saying. Assuming the election the context is strong, he will have been telling people his achievements and why he wants you to vote for him in order to consolidate on the achievements recorded. That if anything that will make me not to continue, that look at all these beautiful things that I'm doing, all these things will come to an end. But he should be able to tell us this. That's why he's leaving the real issue and engaging in inanity. And I don't expect a professor to say all those things. You should focus, because to me, those kind of talk, they tend to distract. And before you know, Nicholas Okachuku, he has been here for long. He has contested election for so many times, beginning from 1999. So don't be surprised. He may spring surprise. Surprise is one of the names of the game of politics. So before you know it, you begin to hear and they say, hi, what happened? So those should not relax, but the election is for him to lose.
The election is for him to lose. And finally, before we go, it looks like people are still shifting and moving. Do you think that the defections are still on? Or do you think that the clock is ticking for anyone who wants to defect?
No, the first batch of the defection has ended. The other politicians.
So you think that there will be lots of defections in the Christmas box?
Yeah, they may. But it depends on what you are bringing. For me, I think there was a hurt to it. Because I understand that the president himself was becoming uncomfortable. That people are accusing him of wanting to change the Nigeria to one-party state. And there was this accusation or allegation that he's the one coercing these people, all these governors, to move to his own party. Otherwise, there will be nothing for you on the table. And maybe Tinubu having been a strategy, it may be okay. You can stay in your party because the end result is for him to clinch his second tenure. So you can be in PDP and still work for my emergence in 2027. So you don't necessarily need to win. It's like rub my back, I rub your back. Remember what Obasanjo did to AD governors in 2003. So to me, there should be a halt to this movement. People should test their political strength within the party they are. Because one of the reasons why people are moving, the governors are maybe governors that have performed poorly, governors that didn't connect to the people they are governing, governors that didn't fund their political parties, governors that didn't even align with people at the grassroots. So they needed to move to the party of the president so that they can have federal protection, so that they can relax. But let each governor stay back. And that's why I like what happened in Osun State. He said that we are staying back in PDP, but Tinubu is our own son. We are delivering him in 2027, but we stay back in PDP and fight our war, our election war now. So each governor should stay back and test their own popularity, their own political strength, not necessarily moving to the president party so that the machinery of the state will be made available to you to win your election. To me, that is deception. Stay back, build your party, build your structure, use it, show the people your scorecard. If they want you, they vote for you. If they don't want you, then they try alternative. Heaven will not fall. And with Nigeria should learn also how to build a political party culture. That's been my problem with Peter Obi. Mr. Peter Obi should have stayed back and build Labour Party. If you had done that between 2003 and now, Labour Party will have become a stronger party from what we had in 2022, 2023. But today, surprisingly, a party that won 2011 states, like House of Assembly here and there, 6 senators, 43 or 30 something House of. Now, almost all of them have disintegrated. That is not how to build a political system. A political system is primarily built on political culture, political ideology. So that if I'm going to part A, I'm going to part A because the party aligns with my ideology. If I'm going to part B, I know that I'm going to part B because part B aligns with my political understanding of how society should be run based on their manifesto. But today, you may sleep tonight, your governor is in the APC, you wake up in the morning, your governor is in PDP. You wake up tomorrow, your governor is in ADC. So it doesn't help the system to grow.
It doesn't help the system to grow. I think that would be a good place to leave it. Lots of things to talk about, but we're out of time for today. Thank you so much, Dr. Dele Maxwell Oguanya, social commentator, for coming on the program tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that's the Eastern Eye for tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time. My name is Alex Obodo. Good night.